Thomas Jefferson, 1743 to 1826, delegate from Virginia, signer of the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson was born at his family's Shadwell plantation in Virginia. At 18, he entered the College of William and Mary, where he studied mathematics, metaphysics, and philosophy, and was introduced to the theories of John Locke, Francis Bacon, and Isaac Newton. He returned to William and Mary to read law with the distinguished attorney George Wythe and was admitted to the bar in 1767. By 1769, he had entered the colonial government as a member of the House of Burgesses. Much of the following few years were spent constructing his own estate, Monticello, where he held many hundreds of enslaved persons over the course of his lifetime. Jefferson married Martha Wales Skelton in 1772, and the couple had 6 children. Martha died unexpectedly in 1782, and her passing deeply affected Jefferson. He channeled his grief into public service, which fueled his determination to contribute to the future of the nation. Although Jefferson would never remarry, years later, while working in France, he began a relationship with a young enslaved girl named Sally Hemings, who had accompanied Jefferson's daughter to France. At 33, Jefferson was one of the youngest delegates to the Second Continental Congress. Together with John Adams, Thomas Jefferson served on a 5-member committee tasked with drafting the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson's declaration laid out the colonists' grievances against the British Empire and explained their reasons for declaring independence to the world. His eloquent preamble powerfully articulated the concept of natural rights, emphasizing that all men are created equal. This assertion would later become a central rallying cry for excluded groups in their struggles for equality. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress formally ratified the Declaration. On August 2nd, Jefferson, along with most of the delegates, signed it, fully aware that they were committing an act of treason. The following month, Jefferson was elected to the newly created Virginia House of Delegates, where he worked on the state's constitution. As the war continued, he took on the duties of governor of his state. While in office, he transferred the state capital from Williamsburg to Richmond and introduced several reforms in public education and religious freedom. In 1783, Jefferson was elected as a Virginia delegate to the Confederation Congress. The following spring, Congress sent him to Paris to join Benjamin Franklin and John Adams, who were negotiating treaties with Britain and several European countries. Less than a year later, he was tapped to replace Franklin as minister to France. Jefferson's next service to his country was as Washington's first Secretary of State. But conflict with Washington's Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, began early in their terms. They disagreed about whether the Constitution should be loosely interpreted, as Hamilton believed, or strictly interpreted, as Jefferson insisted. And by 1792, Jefferson had co-founded an opposition party, the Democratic Republicans. The 1794 Jay Treaty with Britain proved the breaking point for Jefferson, and in 1796, he ran for president. He lost the election to his one-time friend John Adams, who had served as Washington's vice president. Now, Jefferson's loss made him vice president to Adams. In the election of 1800, Jefferson defeated Adams. Both campaigns had engaged in heated political rhetoric, but the election saw the peaceful transfer of power from one party to another, a massive achievement for the young American Republic. Jefferson and his running mate, Aaron Burr, received the same number of electoral college votes, so the final decision fell to the Federalist-dominated House of Representatives. As president, Jefferson's signature achievement was the Louisiana Purchase, which added over 800,000 square miles to the U.S. He left office after a second term in 1809, where he was succeeded by his political ally James Madison, and after that, James Monroe, creating what has been called the Virginia Dynasty. Toward the end of his life, from 1812 to 1826, Jefferson exchanged 150 letters with his former friend and longtime political enemy, John Adams, discussing their political differences and the role of the American Revolution in world history. When Adams died on July 4, 1826, on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, his last words were said to be, "Thomas Jefferson survives." But Jefferson had, in fact, died a few hours before him.